How's it going, everybody? RyeSquad here today, and we are back with your Toledo Underdogs in our Underdogs to Champion series, and let's bounce back this year and actually make the playoffs. And I personally think that it would be a shock if our team does not make the playoffs. Taking a look at the Lions, guys, the chemistry is absolutely buzzing. McKenna, Lutz, Zadina. I think that's going to be a fantastic line. Obviously, McKenna's a 91 franchise guy for us, a playmaker. Cooper Lutz, obviously not necessarily a scheme fit, but gets the +5 thanks to his X factors, and really is a dude that just scores goals. He shoots, he scores. That's what he does. 280 shots last year, only 11.8%, and didn't even play 20 minutes a night. But you guys can see he is capable of having a phenomenal season this season on the first line. I think McKenna and him are going to link up perfectly. And then Zadina, fantastic playmaker, puck mover, obviously with skilled up, puck on a string, third eye. He's got wheels as well. So he's an absolutely perfect complement to those two. And then our second line has the two-way dynamo, Brad Lambert, with Yuri Kulik, who really stepped into his own as a goal scorer, and Owen Tippett, who we did acquire thanks to our coach Damian Sharp's recommendation. And he rounds out that third line with a bit of a veteran presence. The second line, excuse me. Speaking of the third line, we've got Michelli and Martone. Those two guys are carrying Noah Ostlund. He's going to get the shot now at 26. Listed as a depth forward, a pretty solid playmaker, if you ask me, right? Not physical, but he does a lot well, and he wins faceoffs. So obviously a position here that we could upgrade should things not go well, but we'll see. And then Taro Vallon, I'm very excited about him. Low elite 84 playmaker. I mean, this guy looks like a stud. Not going to score goals at all, but if we wanted to maybe move some things around, maybe tip it to the third line and Taro Vallon there, like we've got options to play with here. Yuri Kulik, I think, is not a bad faceoff taker, so I don't want to move him to the third line. He's got a 74 faceoffs, right? But I'd like to keep things the way they were. Getting the pluses everywhere. I mean, the chemistry is fantastic. Beck, and then Lavin we acquired from the Dallas Stars at the deadline when, we were just making some moves. He looks like a really, really solid two-way forward. Perfect guy to eventually slot in on this third line. Looking at the defensive pairings, we got Harold Shaw and Gustav Chubarov. A dominant pairing. Shaw, the offensive dynamo, scores a ton of goals, by the way. 20 goals in back-to-back seasons as a defenseman. I've tried to tell him to shoot less. I know I got a guy that scores 20 goals from the back end, and I'm telling him not to do that. I'm just thinking it's going to be better for the guys in front of him if he isn't scoring as much and is more of a playmaker. I mean, he does have a great shot. He's also an elite passer and puck mover, so I think if we can get this guy moving the puck a bit more, it's going to unlock our offense. And then Ryan Johnson and Zane Perrick, a solid middle pairing. And then Walter Pearson and Rene Trudeau. Those are going to be our third defensive pairing. Scratch, we've got Kasper Halttunen and then Jack Thompson, right? Kasper Halttunen is a fine fourth line power forward if we need a little bit more physical edge. We can bring him in. He really doesn't do a lot too well, but that is that. And then in goal, we've got Lincoln Gardner, 23 years old, 88, medium elite, butterfly-style goaltender. So we'll see how that goes. He does not play the puck very often, but he's super athletic and really, really good with everything but the stick side, I guess, 5-hole. It's interesting that the butterfly goalie has a weakest link is his 5-hole, but hey, it is what it is. And then Scott Rotzloff backs him up, so Scott Rotzloff is probably going to be a long-term backup for us. We do have plenty of goalies in the system, but guys, let's get into the simulation. I'm expecting us to make the playoffs this year. I don't want to just squeak in either. I'd like to see if we can make some noise. I think we have a team capable of doing it. I think it's very balanced. I think we've got depth. That third line in particular, if Ostlund does develop just a little bit, I think we're looking at a really, really solid player here. He's not great with the defensive skills side of things, but he knows where to be, and he wins faceoff, so we might not be playing defense too much anyway. But guys, let's go ahead and dive into the simulation. All right, guys. First 10 games in the books. I know I like to update you after 20, but first 10, I felt like I had to jump in and just show you how we've started the season. And the stats are wild. It's not what I expected at all, but there's some really crazy things happening. I know it's only 10 games and a lot can change, but we are 20th right now in goals for per game, but third in the league in goals against per game. An elite goaltender is making all the difference in the world right now. 6-3-1, 6th on the power play, first in penalty kill. I mean, our defense is amazing, and that's a big, big thing for us, guys. We've had a good offense for pretty much every year, but you can see at the bottom, Lincoln Gardner's stats, 923 and a 229 save goal against average, 6 wins out of his 10 games, so he's played all 10 for us so far this season, and we are 6-3-1, like I mentioned, 13 points, 2 points behind the Panthers and ahead of the Senators on games played and wins. They've got 2 overtime losses to tie us on points. So things so far so good. I will show you guys the stats probably later, but Gavin McKenna is starting to shoot more, who I have asked to shoot more. So 5 goals, 6 assists. Chubarovs has 6 points, 11 points for Gavin McKenna. It's a little early yet, but I really like to see McKenna with over a point per game. If he can start pushing into that maybe 100 points for us as a superstar, I think we're going to have an amazing season. Jumping forward just a bit, we're 15 games later in the season, 5-4-1. We're 14-9-2. It's been all right. We're a wild card team right now, but we're only 2 points behind the Leafs. This stupid division is so darn tight. It's crazy. As you can see, we'd be comfortably in a playoff position in the Metropolitan Division, but here in the Atlantic, it's going to be a dogfight, guys, and we're the underdogs, right? But hey, that's what we signed up for. But now I just wanted to show the stats. Lincoln Gardner's save percentage has come down. We're 13th in goals against, 11th in goals for, so we're still a top team. Power play still 21%, 14th. I'll take that. And then a top 10 penalty kill unit. Absolutely great for us. But we are 25 games into the season at this point, so we can take a little bit of information out of these, the points, right? And McKenna and Lutz are both point per game players. Brad Lambert on the second line is. Philip Zadina's 23, but he's a -2. Interesting to see he's a -2. Yuri Kulik a -3, so maybe that second line isn't doing as well. Oh, and Tippett's a +5. Don't know why. I wonder if it switched up the lines on me. I'm going to double check that. But Michelli and Martone, +7, +2. They got to be doing well. We'll just focus on the forwards. Noah Ostlund, 16 points, +3. He's fine. The fourth line is really, really not good. And I know Taro Valen, low elite playmaker, right? We don't really have... Owen Beck and Tyler Lavin are both tremendous defensive-minded players, so I'm not sure why they're doing so poorly, but let's take a look at the blue line. Chubarov and Shaw. I think Shaw is shooting less. He's probably on pace for... No, he's still on pace for over 200 shots, I believe. He's just multiply it by 4. 240 shots he's on pace for. So I don't know why I bother trying to talk to these players and do anything, because it doesn't make a difference. But Johnson and Perrick are minuses. They're huge minuses. But Pearson, Walter Pearson and Rene Trudeau, both looking pretty darn good. So I'm going to double check the lines real quick. And oh God, Scott Rotzloff, you need to be doing so much better, my guy. In 4 games played, 3 losses, 805, 563. Lincoln Gardner, you better get ready, because you're going to be, oh my God, he's so good. 89 now. He's developed even slightly more. He's going to be playing like 78 games this season. Wow, guys, I'm jumping back in. This is horrible. 0-6-4 in our last 10 games. We're listed as a cup contender. We're 500 right now, and we've fallen to the bottom of the Atlantic. Now, I know right now 40 points would be, 6th in the Metro. It's not much better. But guys, things have to change right now. This is the second straight season of us underperforming, and I think I got to make a coaching change. There's just something about the team right now. I don't think it's a roster issue. I'm going to go ahead and move on from Damian Sharp. As much as it sucks, I like him a lot. But we are going to move on from Sharp, and we are going to hire somebody, one of the free agent coaches. And I took a look, and I kind of want to go with Khan here. A+ offense, A- defense, right? A good coach, a generalist, a balanced coach, right? Not offensive, not defensive. It's going to be hard not to fit his scheme. You won't match it perfectly, probably, but there's a chance that you're not going to have an X. But I think something needs to change personally, because this is just another season of poor performance. So I'm going to fire Damian Sharp and bring in William Kahn. Actually, scratch that. I'm going to bring in Stan Buckley. I'm just looking at what we had with Damian Sharp. He was a generalist. He was balanced, really simple, chemistry styles, fit the team pretty well. But I'm going to go in a different direction. We're going to try and unlock the offensive potential on this team. We have a lot of talent. We got goal scorers. Gavin McKenna, Cooper Lutz, Brad Lambert's even putting up points. Yuri Kulik, Owen Tippett, Philip Zadina's offensive-minded. We got Michelli, Noah Ostlund, our third-line center, is an offensive-minded center, and Porter Martone. So Harold Shaw, Gustav, we have so much offense. I'm just rattling off all these guys. 68% scheme fit, a more aggressive, a more offensive-minded head coach here. Offensive scheme, and it works best with offensive players. Balanced players can make it work, and defensive players do not fit this scheme. We're not a defensive team. I'm going in a different direction. I'm pivoting, and I know his stats don't look as good, but he's an A- coach. A+ power play, A+ penalty kill. Hopefully, this is the right move. And here we are, guys. 2 games away from the trade deadline. We're at game number 60 on the season for us, and we've got 64 in 60. We are 7 points back of the Rangers and 3 points back of the Lightning and Maple Leafs. The Lightning have a game in hand and the Leafs have 2. We do have 2 games in hand on the Red Wings, though. If we won both of those games in hand, we would be at 68, 1 point behind them. So we're not out of it by any stretch, and things have felt a little bit better, right? We're not flying as high as I would have expected, but we're 6-4 in our last 10, and the performances we've started to pump in more goals, and I've started to see morale change. And I come back out of here, and it's behind my face, I know, but we're at 69%, which is a nice chemistry to be at. Before we were at like 65, low 60s, and that's not where you want to be. And I think the better individual performance, right? Gavin McKenna's at 58 points now in 60 games. So he's hovering around. He dropped down a little bit. Now he's back as far as points. Cooper Lutz has 28 goals in 60 games. So he's on pace for almost 60 goals he's on pace for almost 45 this season. So that's a pretty good season out of the third-year player. I was expecting a bigger jump from everybody, but now that our scheme and our coach is a bit more offensive, I think we're going to do better. Now, there's not much I would say that we need to add in the trade deadline again, right? There's nothing that I want to move on from. Noah Ostlund's grown. Everybody's looking great. Here's the lines. The chemistry's still a +5. Cooper Lutz now likes the offensive strategy, but doesn't fit still. I mean, it's whatever. Honestly, I think that the lines and the chemistry haven't really changed too much. Same thing on the blue line, right? Like, not much is changing, but man, this middle, I got to break up that middle pairing some way, somehow. Shaw, maybe Ryan, who's got the better defensive side of their game? I think it actually might be Zane Parik. So I'm going to bump Shaw down. I know it's crazy. He's got 31 points. He's a top 4 defenseman. He's not listed as anything elite. So I'm going to move him down just because. Harold Shaw's left. Yeah, they're both lefty, but I don't really care at this point. I'm going to bump him down just because something's got to change, right? With that middle pairing defensively. Ryan Johnson's and Zane Parik are just not it right now. But we got these 2 games here against Calgary and Seattle. Points that I'd like to pick up. I don't care how they come, right? Overtime or shootout. It's a Western Conference opponent, right? But if we could be at 68 and 62, I would be very, very happy. And hopefully we see lots of goals put in for our team. Just to get people's morale up a bit, right? Rochester's flying right now. I don't know what Rochester's doing, but everybody's loving life down in Rochester. We do win in overtime against Calgary, but we lose 2-1, and we lose locker room chemistry again. 4 points now behind the Panthers with the game in hand, 1 point behind the Leafs, 1 point behind the Lightning, 1 point behind the Penguins, who are in a wild card spot. So I think I just got to keep the faith. I don't really know what else I would do. Maybe move on from an underperforming forward to bump some guys up, and maybe that shakes it up a little bit, right? Like, who's the worst performing plus-minus forward? Maybe moving on from them would be a good idea, so we can bump some other guys up. And it's right now it's Yuri Kulik, and then it's the 4th line: Valen, Lavin, Ostlund, Beck, Martone. Yeah, it's the bottom 6. They're just, I mean, I can't believe Yuri Kulik is a -11 with 46 points. Like, that is alarming, and he's never really been a good plus-minus player his whole career. So while he does have a lot of points, he's in the last year of his contract. I may move on from Yuri Kulik, and as much as that sucks, I don't want to do that. He's gaining morale. He's actually not in the last year of his contract. We did extend him, but 5 years at $7.5 million. He's gaining morale, but again, I don't think he's not very good defensively. His defensive awareness is very poor. His giveaway to takeaway ratio is fine, and he throws a lot of the hits, but I look at this guy, and he's been a minus every season except for 2, right? He was a +2 here with 66 points and a +7 here with 55 points. It's kind of leading me to believe that he might be a problem, right? Taro Valen, not a great defensive player, but he's playing 4th line ice time. Lavin Ostlund's the 3rd line center, right? I can't bash him too much. The next guy would be Martone, but Martone might move up, or Michelli might move up. We know Michelli's always been good whenever we put him in different situations, so maybe that is what we need to do, is move on from another sniper, maybe find a power forward, but we can't because I can't acquire anybody above an 80. So maybe we'll trade Yuri Kulik for one of those elite young guns. But let me take a look and see what's out there, because trading Kulik would be a panic button move, and it might be time to push the panic button because things are just not working. So guys, I'm looking at a trade, and I think this honestly might make us a better team. Jiri Kulik, he's got lots of points, but really has always been a minus player. I hate it. Ugh. I'm really torn about this one because he's developed into a star. Like, he's not a star, though. He's only scoring, like, I guess 20 goals is fine, but for the ice time he gets, he's not scoring as much as I would have hoped, and he's a minus player for us. He's making $7.5 million. And I'm looking at Tommy Julkinen here. He's 20 years old, 80, medium top six, two-way forward, and he looks really well-rounded. Good defensive, a little bit of offensive puck moving, some goal-scoring potential there as well. Is a minus 15, but the LA Kings are a very bad team, and you can see that he did well when he was on Ontario. Probably less of a bad team, and he's just playing fourth-line ice time, which is where he would come over and play for us. And I could also potentially squeeze their first out of this, and they're 24, 32, and 6. They're not a very good hockey team. I mean, if I can get their first out of this would be an absolutely phenomenal deal for me. When I did try and find a trade for Kulik, they offered me, like, they tried to sell me everything. Kaliev, Domi, and I believe one other player. Oh, no, don't discard the trade. It was like Kaliev, I think it was Kaliev, Spence, and Domi. They tried to just give me everything. Like, that's a good trade to get us even more depth, but obviously I can't do it because, as you guys know, the rules in this series, I can't acquire anybody above an 80. So Julkinen is an 80, young gun here. First round pick, too, would be massive in this deal. It is rejected, but I am going to work on this deal to see what it would take to get their first and Julkinen. And there we have it, guys. Jiri Kulik and our first for the LA Kings first, Julkinen, and their second. So we get 2 picks out of the deal. We do have to give up our first, but they wanted it. And we get Julkinen. I know everyone's going to be upset because we traded away a quality player in Jiri Kulik, but guys, honestly, I don't know what it was about this team, but it just was not working out. So I'm going to try and edit the lines and see what's going on now. Hopefully that kind of turns fortunes, and like really we have so many second, like look at the roles over on the right, guys. We got a second, so many second line players that I think need to be playing more in their role. I know it's great to have depth, but giving away Jiri Kulik sucks. I wanted him to be a stud for us, and he was really good, but he wasn't great. So we'll see. Let's take a look at the lines and hopefully turn the season around. And there we go, guys. Tommy Julkinen is actually going to slot in on that third line center role, and Noah Ostlund is going to be bumped down to the fourth line with Beck and Lavin. So I'm actually okay with that. Valen moves up to the third line, get him a little bit more ice time. I think he deserves it. And then Michelli moves up to the second line. And they actually put Lutz down to the second line, moving Lambert up. So it's interesting to see the little bit of a shuffle the coach did. Taking a look at the defense, I think they're keeping the defense the same, which is, I mean, I don't blame them. I think that's the pairings I have in my head when I look on paper. We'll hopefully see that this second line gets a little bit better with Michelli on it. Just a guy that just simulates well, and you got to just find those guys that sim well. So hopefully this will do it for us. The first line, it's not getting the +5 anymore. We get a +5 and a +3 here. I think I kind of want to keep doing this. I mean, the first line is working, right? They're the pluses. The second line was the one. I mean, Jiri Kulik was the worst +- Taro Valen was next. Tommy Julkinen, I'm not worried about his -15. The LA Kings are bad, so we're not going to do I am going to do the trade deadline. I'll let you know if there is a trade, but I don't really expect us to make another big trade like this. So I flipped through every team. There was a couple guys that were interesting to me, and they were on the blue line, but I don't know how much a blue line trade is going to make a difference. You know what? I might actually get rid of Jack Thompson. He's one of those disengaged players all the time. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins that have a couple defensemen on the block. And okay, so Carter Hart gets traded. Okay. Interesting. All right, going to defensemen. Yeah, it's like Harris and Jekai, and I think I like Harris better. I mean, they're both 30. They're both left-right D. They're both two-way defenders. Jordan Harris just looks like he's got a bit more to his game. You can see that he's got a bit more points. He's playing a lot more ice time, to be fair, to Arbor Jekai, but he is a defensive defenseman. He fits the third defensive pairing, but Jordan Harris would fit the penalty kill. So I'm going to see if I can just do like Jack Thompson for him straight up, because Jack Thompson always seems to be disengaged. So I'm just going to kind of see if they want to do a 1-for-1 swap. And it's rejected. It's a fair value. And I think it was like a 5th round pick they wanted. So maybe just maybe I can go like with a draft pick and like, or maybe what about a rookie skater that has like almost no value? A guy like, some of these guys are actually playing. Reasoner. Reasoner's low top 6. Yeah, I'll just throw him in this deal. And trade accepted. The Penguins fans will think they'll come out ahead. I mean, I get it. They got slightly better defensemen and a prospect for the same type of defenseman. So that is the move I'm going to make, just because the morale, right? I'm really trying to manage the locker room right now. And that is the trade deadline, guys. We are back, and, well, Michelli and Rotzloff don't like the fact that I traded away. Oh, and the locker room is, but we've gained locker room chemistry. Look at that. So ups and downs in the locker room, but I don't think we have any more disturbances. We've got Lavin, who's a presence, and Valen is neutral, but he's going to be getting more ice time, more along where he belongs. And Harris is back. So we'll see what the coach wants to do with the lines. Let me quickly show you guys what the lines look like after the trade deadline. And yeah, they're going to make Brad Lambert up there. Defense is now Trudeau and Harris. So they are going to bench Pearson, who Walter Pearson was a +10. He had 7 goals. So bold strategy there, but they were both pretty good. If we move Cooper Lutz, I kind of like this, still getting the +5, right? We got Gavin McKenna would have an insane season, I would have hoped. Cooper Lutz really is outshining him. So, I mean, McKenna's really turned out to be one of those players that looks great, but doesn't simulate great. And I'm not entirely sure why. So maybe it's the coach. Maybe we just need to unlock his offensive potential. But guys, let's get into the simulation, because we got to make the playoffs here. I really don't want to miss out on the playoffs for back-to-back seasons with a team that's considered a cup contender. We are 1 point out of it right now, behind the Penguins, and 4 points behind the Panthers with 2 games in hand. So that's big. We got a massive one here against the Panthers. We're going straight to that game. Detroit's at the top, but we're not even that far behind them. And we play them twice, so it's a really, really tight division at this point. And against Detroit, we're going to lose 6-5. And we are now, I mean, we're still 4 points back at the Panthers with a game in hand, but they're no longer in a playoff spot. The Lightning are. So, we're going to jump into this Florida Panthers game. You guys wanted to see a little bit more? Well, this is a very high-intensity game. Let's see how we do. We're going to go ahead and just sim the game, see how it goes. Oh, God, come on, guys. Let's see it. Let's see it here, boys. First period, up 2-1. Valen with 2 goals. Oh, I love to see it. Second period, we're up 3-1. Owen Tippett. And then in the third period, Florida gets a power play. We are able to kill it. Our penalty kill still continues to do well. We get a power play now. Our dominant power play gets a lot of minutes. Oh my God, we are on the power play for like half the period here, and we couldn't score. We give Florida a power play. We kill it off. And with 5 minutes to go, still up by 2. Things are looking good with 1 minute to go. Huge 3-1 victory over the Florida Panthers there. Taking a look at our stats, obviously Taro Valen. Oh, wait, they said he only scored one goal. Oh, it was Lavin and Valen. Oh, my God, T. Valen and T. Lavin. I'm going to mess that up so much. But, hey, really, really good game from those guys, and especially Gardner. An awesome, awesome game for Gardner. So I think we do better in the slow sim than in the calendar sim for whatever reason, but I'm very, very happy that we were able to win that one. So we're just going to advance the day so we don't get the extra game played. And there we go. All right, so let's get back to the calendar. Let's start simulating again. Our offense needs to wake up because we have a really, really talented offense. I'd like to see us scoring closer to 4 goals per game. Ottawa, where are the Senators? The Senators are at the bottom. We should be able to beat them. The Leafs are right in front of us. Let's go ahead and go up to this first Leafs game. Maybe we'll slow sim that one too. Here against Ottawa, can we build some momentum? We gain morale because of individual performance, but we lose. That's not what I wanted to see. Against Detroit, we are going to lose to them as well. Oh, God. Our thing's going to implode on us here. We lose again? Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. 4 straight losses. 4 out of the last 5 since the trade deadline. And apparently, Yuri Kulik was not the problem with the team. The whole team is the problem. I'm going to take a look at the lines. I might just use the head coach preferred lines from now on because, well, things are just not going the way we want them to at all. Taro Valen is a -14 now. Yikes. And the top line still is good. I did hit head coach preferred lines, right? And okay, they did move Lambert down to the second line. They moved Zadina down too. Interesting. Blue line, Harris, +3. What is he with us? A -1. And then we've got Rene Trudeau, who's a +13. I might override the coach here and say, put in Walter Pearson because they might be pretty good. Ryan Johnson. Oh my God. Holy why didn't I move on from one of them? Ryan Johnson going down there. Absolutely. For a fact, just -29 and -26. You can't be a defensive pairing with that. We got a huge game here against Toronto too. Can we I mean, oh guys, it's an uphill battle right now. We're 6 points, 7 points back of the Leafs. We got 2 games against them though, so these are huge. These are huge games against. Oh, we got to win these. We got to win these next 2. Against Toronto, we are going to lose 6-1. Oh my God, I can't believe I traded our first. It's going to be like the first overall pick. It's crazy, and we lose again. Are you kidding me? What is wrong with our team? I cannot believe our team this good is going to be, a bottom of the Atlantic franchise. That is crazy to me. We are 12 points back of the wild card and 12 points back of the Leafs. Guys, I think the season's straight up over. I don't think there's any saving this. And there you have it, guys. We're down to the last 3 games of the season. 79 games played, 78 points. The most points we could possibly have is 84, which is not going to get us into the playoffs. We'd have to get 94. So we've been effectively eliminated, guys. This is honestly wild to me how bad things have gone for us as a franchise. I don't really understand what I might be doing wrong. Good Lord, guys, we just absolutely imploded. So maybe I made an absolute mistake trading away Yuri Kulik, but our franchise left winger, Gavin McKenna, absolutely sucks. 76 points. Our locker room chemistry is at 57%. We cannot get out of the gutter right now. And we're just spinning our wheels. I don't really know what to do, to be honest. 76 points for a medium franchise playmaker. Owen Tippett with 70. We have no offense, and I don't know what the deal is. Shots. Cooper Lutz took 300 shots, scored 39 times, 65 points, and was even. Guys, I don't know what to do at this point. Please, if you have any ideas, just let me know. Jolkinen was not the answer. Ostlund sucks. The whole team sucks. I kind of want to just start over. Holy mackerel. You have all these talented players. 91 medium franchise playmaker. You've got Owen Tippett, who's an 88 sniper. 89 Brad Lambert. You've got 87 Cooper Lutz, who's doing really well. 88 Zadina. 86 Michelli. 85 Martone. Martone is an absolute disappointment, guys. And he's making what? $7.5 million? He won the Calder. I don't know how. But he won he's 7 years at $7.5 million. He's an absolute fraud. Doesn't do anything. I might move on from him too. Honestly, guys, I just need to find players that put up points in the sim, and I can't. I'm kind of stuck because we'd have to rebuild. So, looking at the blue line, I think it's obvious that I need to get rid of Ryan Johnson and probably Zane Perrick. I think Harris was better than them. Pearson, Trudeau. I think it's time for a refresh of this team. I gotta gut it and get low overall, high upside guys. Goaltending I thought was solved. I think it's more the team in front of them. Guys, I'm out of words. I'm at a loss for words. Gavin McKenna, almost a point per game player. I think we need to really lean into scoring points and getting these guys to grow and develop. But I don't know. Maybe I need to find a power forward of some sort. I thought that was going to be Martone, but turns out he's just bad. I have no idea what it's going to take at this point, guys. I really just don't know what it's going to take to get this team to the playoffs and, over the hump. McKenna has that makeup of an elite player, but I just think we need more. I don't know how to get more. I'm stuck because I can't get anybody above an 80. So maybe I move on from Martone and I start looking for medium elites that quite haven't peaked yet. Maybe guys right out of the draft. I'm not sure, but I kind of want to take a look at where the LA Kings finished up. And the LA Kings, okay, so it's a top 10 pick we acquired. 3, 6, 7, 8. So they're the 8th best chance at the number 1 overall pick. Taking a look there, maybe we move up and we grab that guy. Don't forget, we still have in the system, we've got another medium elite that I just didn't even sign. Taking a look here, what is FSC? Future season clause? Oh, okay. Yeah, we've got Charnquist here. Another medium elite sniper at 19 years old, hoping he develops into something incredible for us, but he doesn't look like much. Maybe he's a shooter, maybe he's not, but I don't know. He's playing in a tough league in the SHL, so I will say that it's pretty impressive to have over a point per game there. So I don't know. We'll see what to do. Tuomo Ristolainen here, a low elite playmaker, looks really good defensively. I don't know what to do. I'm kind of out of words. I do want to take a look at the draft class, though, really quickly. View the draft class. Who's the number 1 overall prospect? It is just a medium elite. It is Ronald Steckel, a medium elite power forward. Honestly, go up, get a medium elite power forward. I'd be willing to sell off like Perrick and Perrick and Martone to go get Ronald Steckel. I really think I need to shake up this roster a ton to go get some elite dudes, right? He's got 1T. He's A+ shooting, puck skills, right? Get a power forward, a little bit something different than what we have. Anybody else that we know of just yet? Not really any low elites that I want to target. I don't know. I can look at this at a later date. So maybe here in Harry Ellis. But guys, honestly, give me your thoughts down in the comment section because I need them. We have yet to get a guy that really has been consistently over 82 points a season. So something needs to change. But guys, that's all the time I have for this one. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more. And I will see you guys in the next one.
It's a free for all.